YouTube, what it do, man? It's your boy Benji, and we are back in between the ropes. If you're new, please don't forget to subscribe, man. I've been under the weather, but it's okay. All I need to do is be good for Blood and Guts, man, because I'm going to Blood and Guts. AEW. If you did not know, I just started watching AEW not long ago, but it's not an AEW video. This is WWE Smackdown. A lot of people have been bashing on Smackdown this last week because of they dropping views, because how bad the product is getting. We're going to talk about the most recent show. This is the November 7th episode of Smackdown. One thing I want to note, Cody Rhodes literally never says anything any week. Every time he does a promo, he's interrupted. Literally, there's maybe been one or two promos within the last year or so that he's actually been able to say anything of value and meaning. He's always interrupted. I mean, if you think about it, going into WrestleMania 40, his promos were interrupted because he wanted to choose Roman Reigns and then decided to change his mind later and give up that promo segment to The Rock. Tonight's episode was no different. The dude shows up, asks the city what they want to talk about, and he lets everybody know that he's done with Drew McIntyre. Cool. But if you think about it long enough, who can he even feud with other than Drew McIntyre? Nobody else on that show is actually a potential WWE champion. There's nobody that you actually believe the way they've been built up to would win. If you don't have Drew, who do you got? Solo? Sami Zayn. We haven't seen Randy Orton in a long time. But the funniest thing about this promo is that the dude literally did come out there to say nothing. He just said that Drew McIntyre, he's done with him. And what he's going to do is try and find who's going to be the next challenger. So what he wanted to do was get his stuff and go find somewhere in the crowd amongst the people to go sit and watch in order to find out who was going to be the next challenger. This dude's literal plan was to go out there and watch the show with the fans. Obviously, that doesn't get to happen because Cody Rhodes never gets to complete an entirety of a promo. Aleister Black shows up with Zelina Vega and they interrupt. Aleister Black is also searching for something new, so he wants his opportunity. I will say I do like Zelina's presentation much more like this, but she gets the mic and slaps Cody. I have no reason why she slapped Cody. I don't understand it. There was no reason for her to do it. I have no reason to understand why she would have done that. Maybe just to accentuate what her husband was talking about. It was done nicely, though. She was like, too bad your nightmare begins now. And then she slaps him. Dude, nobody respects Cody. Cody loves and respects everybody, but nobody gives him that same love and respect. And, of course, Nick Aldis shows up and begins to set a main event match for these people. Nick Aldis is one of the most unprepared GMs. The show begins to get underway, and we have Ilya Dragunov, who, remember, is your newly crowned United States champion. He's trying to see who's going to be the next challenger. Tommaso Ciampa shows up in order to try and avenge last week, where he wasn't awarded the opportunity to actually fight. But for some strange reason, Ilya chooses Johnny Gargano, who was standing in the back, and wants to fight him instead. Ciampa is not happy with that, but at the end of the day, Gargano accepts the fight. I'm not mad at the open championship stuff, but again, if I really had to talk about it, who is Ilya Dragunov? This is the problem in entirety with WWE. I don't have an issue with them having matches, but can you tell any of these guys apart from one another? If you just lined everybody up in the show, who would you think are the big bosses? Probably Drew McIntyre, maybe Damian Priest, right? Just physically. You'd maybe say Aleister Black's kind of cool looking. Everybody else just like a bunch of dudes. That's what I'm getting to. None of the characters are distinct. Nothing they do is unique. These are all the same people fighting each other. They all have the same motives. Nothing is different. Dude, Ilya Dragunov's been gone for a year. Why do we not understand what his purpose is here? Why do we not understand what he's after? Okay, he just wants to be a fighting champion and just bring pain. Okay, cool. But we accepting this? The dude just showed up and now he's just fighting every week. He's United States champion and nobody's supposed to really care about what he's doing or any feuds or nothing like that. Where is Melo? I have no idea. He ends up winning. Whoop-de-doo. Makes these weird faces, of course. If you've seen some of his workout videos, is what you would be expecting. This is the problem. This is why there's no real weight that the United States Championship holds. because it would be nice for these dudes to win these matches and then go backstage flaunting about how they beaten everybody or something like that, you know? If it is supposed to be a good guy, then let somebody backstage be like, bro, you ducking me. Why not? Why wouldn't Ciampa go backstage and be like, bro, you're ducking me? This is the second week in a row that I tried to fight you and you wouldn't let me fight. I mean, it's cool when they had one or two people come out at the same time. Like we had Aleister Black coming out after Melo. I mean, it was some cool moments, but I think that, again, we should feel the weight of that. Like, this dude is a champion. Why are not people running, chopping at the gills in order to try and secure the championship? It makes sense that a lot of people are trying to actually fight in the United States Open Challenge to catch Ilya Dragunov lacking. Right? It makes sense. Why does Cody Rhodes get to parade around with the QB1 title and this big belt, yet nobody wants to challenge him? And the segment that's got everybody up in arms is Jade Cargill coming out, doing her big entrance, her first entrance as a women's champion. She came out there and said, y'all saw what happened to Tiffany. And this goes for every woman in the locker room. I'm that B word. She says the word. You know, we trying to keep it clean over here. I'm that girl, if you will. You know what I'm saying? And she just walks off. Honestly, I'm not mad at that, bro. This is how Jade Cargill should have been looking from the jump. Remember, she showed up and she was just bench pressing people and throwing people around the ring and squashing people in 2 seconds. This is how she should be booked. She looks like a literal superhero. Yeah, sorry, y'all. Y'all can't hang. I'm her. Mic drop. I did think it was kind of funny, though, as she walked out, Charlotte Flair was doing her entrance with Alexa, and, you know, they were all talking smack, and then Charlotte just kind of flexed on her. She was like, all right, get out of my way, and did her entrance. Her pyros dropping in the air and everything while Jay's still yelling. And we ended up getting Tiffany versus Charlotte. I like how they're trying to do a lot of revisionist history with Charlotte, and they're doing some work to nerf her and to make her over the top, humble. But for some strange reason, while Alexa Bliss is watching this match and Charlotte has the upper hand, Lash Legend shows up, chokes out Alexa Bliss, and like, dude, she was choking her out. And this just opens up the window for Nia to land a couple moves and eventually hit her terrible finisher. And she beat Charlotte. Now let's dial everything back to what I was talking about earlier. What was the purpose of this match? I know that they asked for this match a long time ago, and they were saying that Nia was just mad that she doesn't have any real friends. And I guess the reasoning for Lash Legend to show up was because this is Nia's real friend, even though these two were literally just beefing on NXT a week ago or 2 weeks ago, something like that. Guys, we have to watch every episode like I've mentioned to y'all. This is my fault for even getting this far into episode review without letting y'all know. We've got to watch these episodes as they come, when they come. You can't think about what happened in the past. No. But yeah, all in all, I have no reason for this match to happen. Now, no lie, there was actually a funny scene right after the match where they're like in the trainer's room and Alexa's trying to get some help. And Asuka shows up as one of the nurses or whatever. And she just spits all over them. I'm not going to lie. They normally are completely not creative on the show. So when they do at least something like this, I got to at least give them their props on that. And then the next match was for the United States Women's Championship, Julia versus Chelsea Green. No lie, if I look at the official timing, I'm sure this match was under 2 minutes. Right under. Chelsea was able to gain leverage on the ropes and secure a pinfall victory. Now this had the people upset. But if you had to ask me, I'm glad. Chelsea should have never lost the belt. She's been walking around doing this secret harvest thing. She's been running presidential campaigns. They've been clearing the room. She was the one who had the gimmick for the United States Championship. And the majority of the gimmick came after she lost the championship. Now, for some strange reason, they've been playing up as Julia supposedly beating Chelsea Green's length of championship. She beated the duration of time. What? What am I saying? Julia's length of champion has been longer than Chelsea's. Just for her to lose like this. Her entire WWE run has been a failure. How could WWE screw up one of the best women wrestlers in the world? Shame on all. I agree. Nia Jax and Lash Legend beating the hell out of each other on NXT, and then Lash randomly decided to help her win a match. So yeah, Julia was the longest reigning U.S. champion. And then the same day she becomes the longest reigning U.S. champion, she loses the championship. But let's think about it. She had 2 defenses. And WWE is absolutely ridiculous. 2 defenses? How many did Zelina have? Like 2 as well? Or 3? They've done a terrible... Like, what did they even introduce this belt for? It's been absolutely terrible. No PLE defenses, no good feuds, wasted completely. Absolutely. Reign is terrible, matches are terrible, Kiana James pairing is terrible. And you know what's crazy? Her and Stephanie were called up in a similar time frame. The difference in WWE's booking of Julia versus WWE's booking of Stephanie is actually nasty work. Deadly, ugly work. Lost in 3 minutes to somebody who eats more pins than Roxanne. Stephanie's booking is not better because she has her first title defense on Monday, 50 days after becoming champion. But she has at least been a storyline. She's at least been showing up. Dude, we've barely seen Julia on TV. I made plenty of episodes asking where was she. We've seen more Kiana James matches than Julia matches. And Kiana James is supposed to be her manager. Get Julia with the Kabuki Warriors immediately. That wouldn't be bad. Zelina and Julia's U.S. title runs were terrible because again, them having the championships didn't hold any weight. They didn't do anything to develop the characters. Neither one of them was on TV after winning the belt. It was just pointless. It was purposeless. They still don't even have any gimmicks. At the very least, Julia had a person to talk for her, and now Zelina has her husband to side with. Give the women a U.S. Open Challenge. Are there even enough women on the roster? I ain't gonna lie, they probably could have though. Because if they would have included a bunch of women from the NXT, that would have been the way to go. That way, when you call women up like Julia, the crowds are not completely blind to who they are. Like, for example, Lash Legend showed up and most of the crowd was like, who's that? Because they don't get no love. They just show up, and the only way you would understand who that is if you get to hear the audio commentary by watching the episode. But apparently, Chelsea had just won another championship with Ethan Page as the mixed tag team championships. And interestingly enough, I think Ethan Page is the North American champion over there on NXT, so this could be a funny dynamic. And this is what I still don't understand, is they've been playing it up well. She's the only one with a gimmick. Chelsea Green is the only person that's entertaining out of the people that have held the title. She'll hopefully be the only one to get TV time, too. Ray Phoenix fought TONGA, the tallest Tonga, and he lost. They was going to put the beat down on him, and then Sami Zayn shows up. Sami Zayn's been in the Bloodline Vortex for I don't know how long. But honestly, that's the only way that you can have him be interesting as a character. Aleister Black and Cody Rhodes fought off. This is a AEW matchup. The match doesn't go anywhere because Drew McIntyre, Claymore's the referee. You screwed me. And he and Aleister Black get the jump in Cody Rhodes. I really wanted to see Drew McIntyre as a Bloodline hunter. But, I mean, if he becomes a referee hunter, sure. If he's the person that goes against the system, sure. Let's just get Drew to do something meaningful. Let's get him back on Raw. But, of course, Damian Priest comes to help, and he literally goes 1-on-2, taking out Aleister Black and Drew McIntyre. Nick Aldis shows up and suspends Drew McIntyre. You have Solo and the MFTs running around every week destroying stuff, destroying people. Yet they don't get that same treatment. We even saw Sami Zayn deliberately break the rules. Cody Rhodes. But Drew McIntyre is the one that gets suspended? Lash Legend came and interrupted in the match earlier today. So did Kiana James. But maybe it's different because Drew attacked the referee? Chelsea Green cheated in her match. Literally, all this happened today. What in the world is it about Drew McIntyre that makes you suspend him? Typical questions I like to ask. Where are the Street Profits? Where are Garza and... Actually, I don't really care where Garza and them are. Where's Carmelo Hayes? The Miz is announced to be one of the members of the potential John Cena tournament. He's going to be fighting out first round against Jey Uso. And LA Knight's got a mystery opponent. Ooh wee, wow. Y'all that want 70-year-old Y2J, stop it. I don't want Chris Jericho to fight this dude. I wouldn't be mad if Edge came out, but I'm tired of seeing these old men fight, bro. Gosh. Like, if I'm at least going to see a good match, let me get a good match. But stop giving me these old men to fight devoid of storyline. It's just ridiculous. But, yeah, honestly, if I had to rate this thing yay, nay, and somewhere in the middle, okay, this episode's a nay. Throw it away. We don't need it. The only good thing I can argue is that Chelsea Green is now your new United States champion. Julia's probably going to go to the abyss, which is not good because Julia's really good. And she's just been written horribly. They must have too many belts. They've got to do something, bro. Like, again, I mentioned how I enjoy AEW's entrances being just like, get to it. Like, so that when you have a PLE, you enjoy people's entrances. We shouldn't be doing all the pyro, fireworks, 3-minute, like, dude, you're getting commercials in between entrances, bro. Like, you get one person entrance, and then boom, commercial. Commercial comes back. The second person's entrance, boom, commercial. And then you finally get the match. You're just wasting all this time. That's why you can do nothing. That's why you can build no stories. That's why you can barely fit any characters onto a TV show. We're watching 10,000 commercials and entrances. This show stinks, man. It's like they don't even try. I will admit, though, I am excited to see what they could do with Drew McIntyre. If they're going to suspend him, I'd like him to just show up anyways. F it. But y'all let me know what y'all think about it. I'm going to try to get better, man. Drink some tea.